And go. We're live. Hello. Welcome back to my channel, friends. We are here. I don't need that right now. There's nothing coming out of it. We are here because we are reading books this weekend. We're doing the Eras Reading Challenge 22 and 72, which turns out is only 71.
Dun dun dun.
we had an hour less. When I don't make 22 hours, that is what I am going to blame my failure on. That's just how it is going to work.
We make our own rules here.
Yeah, yes. So anyways, we are here. We're going to be doing some reading sprints. How has your day gone, Michelle?
I woke up at I had planned to wake up to attend Bree sprints, and got to I turned off my 10 a.m. alarm, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna wake up in like a couple minutes. A couple minutes turned into 2 hours, and before I knew it, Soren had me on the floor, and I was like, this is great.
I was going to be on Brittany's sprints at like 8 a.m. so I could at least be on there for a little bit on her channel and support her, but I woke up at 9 a.m. which is 8 a.m. which is when I normally would have woken up if it were 8 a.m. But so anyways, now that the ads are potentially done, hello, welcome to my channel. I am being joined by the lovely Michelle from Thor Wants Another Letter. You can go to them for all of your queer lit, indigenous lit, and then just I think general like middle grade and fantasy needs.
Yes, and bullet journal stuff.
Yes, bullet journaling stuff. So always good recommendations. If you're here for the first time, hey Brianna, hold on. You've commented, so now I can make sure that you are a mod. Let's see. Add as I don't know the difference between the moderator, but you're a moderator now, Brianna. So I think you have to add like at least you had to add every time when I last tried to add moderators. So anyways, how is everyone doing on the readathon this lovely Sunday afternoon? Does anyone know where they are? No, that's a no.
I still have to start this, so.
So that's funny. Hold on. I just realized I don't know what page I'm on because I stopped this, but I didn't stop it. Let's see. Okay.
Oh, JK, I read like 8 pages, so I don't remember that. But
let's see. All right, so we've got Bryce Obra with us, finishing up The Sea of Monsters, only 4 chapters left.
Yay!
Such a good book. It is an underrated Percy Jackson book, I feel. Which I mean, I say that, but it still is probably the bottom of my tier ranking.
I think you have to read it a couple of times before really understanding where Rick is coming from with this one, because you could read it and be like, wow, that was lackluster, but then you read it like a second time and you're like, oh, okay, I get you.
I feel like Sea of Monsters and Titan's Curse both get that, because Sea of Monsters sometimes a little bit less, because like if you're reading the series, a lot of the time you're invested in Percy and Annabeth's relationship, and it hits peak in Battle of the Labyrinth and The Last Olympian. But hold on, let me do this. Okay, 335. There we go. That's not correct, but that's fine. I don't care. So I think that those two kind of get ignored, especially by the perfect shippers, but they're such good books. Like there's so much that happens in them that is just good.
I think the Titans Curse, I like that better than Battle of the Labyrinth, but I think it's just because there's certain elements of the Battle of the Labyrinth that I just like don't I don't understand.
Yeah. Battle of the Labyrinth I love primarily for page 204. I won't say what happens on page 204, but if you have read the series, you know.
If you know, you know.
Let's see. Allison Moreau has joined us as well, still working on the Eye of the World and listening to the accompanying podcast. Yeah, you're close to finishing it though, right? That is impressive. I am going to start it soon.
Isn't that the big thick one by that one guy?
Big thick one. It's literally like you can see it. That yellow right there. That's
Oh.
you can literally like the text is so big you can see it's on top of Chain of Gold.
Is that
You
which
see both of
who's that
them.
by?
Yeah. I'm sorry, what?
Is that Robert Jordan or Patrick
Robert Jordan. Yeah.
Okay.
It's the first one in the series. So but yeah, okay. Got Brianna. We already said that. We've got novel Leo 22. I'm reading A Diary of Blood 50% through. That one is on my soon to read TBR because like I keep hearing good things of it. Just like
what's that about?
I don't remember, but like it's like a retelling of Carrie, I think. Potentially in a fantasy setting. I don't know. I just remember every time someone talks about it.
Okay. I think she froze again.
I froze again.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I saw the spinny wheel. We've got Brianna almost finished with book 4. Bryce is giving it 3 stars on their reread. It was so hard to get into. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
There we go. All right, am I back?
Thank you.
I think I froze there for a minute, but Bryce was talking about giving it 3 stars on my reread. It is hard to get into. I understand that one. It's a little bit more oddball and less like standard compared to some of his others. Titan's Curse is one of my favorites. I mean, Titan's Curse is such a good book. I enjoy it.
I personally think that when he wrote the first book, there's so many nods and ties to all of his other works within the series. Like there's I tabbed it like a couple years ago, but there's definitely a nod to if Demeter had a daughter, and I'm like, Rick, you knew what you were doing.
Yeah.
You put all the little Easter eggs all in one.
Yeah, it's wild how he was able to like plan some of that out. I think part of that is you're like, oh yeah, I'll put this in the second book, and then you realize you don't have time to get to it in the second book, and so it goes to the third and fourth book.
I still have to finish the 4th and the 5th book of the Apollo series.
Yeah, I still have to.
I think she froze again.
It's fine. It's fine. This computer doesn't like my internet as much. Brittany says, hi, should be able to finish this Poison Heart during these sprints. Oh, okay. Dowry of Blood is the Dracula retelling. Cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Allison says, I have the book almost complete, 2.5 hours. However, I just found the podcast, so 40 more hours of it. Oh my God. That's funny. No, that's a book that like you get past the climax and then you're like, there's so much wrapping up of things because there's so much to cover. Michelle over at Glitter and Suds is at page 56 of House of Hunger. Sent Hummy to pick up groceries so I can stay home.
Nice.
Michelle also, our Michelle over there also sent her hubby to go get food. Aha. Okay. Weight of Blood is the Carrie retelling.
Yeah.
You can see how I would be confused.
There was blood in the title. Yeah.
Yes.
That would have been me too.
Yeah, it's got 2 of the 3 words are the same. So, what are you reading today, or are you doing productivity stuff?
So it's a mix of productivity. So I'm gonna eat this.
Yeah.
And probably read some of this, and then at some point I have to also take a shower because today is a day.
Yeah. I understand that. I usually, if I'm not going anywhere on weekends, a lot of the time I'll be like, no one's gonna be able to see how I stank.
Yeah, last night we cleaned up in the other room there, and I swept this morning, and I was like, we have room to put things now.
Yeah, nice. Okay. Oh my God, why is this not working? Keeps getting caught. Okay, so y'all might see me disappear for a hot minute during the sprints, just because somebody is going. I think we're gonna see. I may get things set up so I can switch computers. But let me get the timer pulled up real quick. No, I don't want my YouTube studio, dumb butt. You know when like you go to click one thing and then it suddenly jumps to the next thing? It's like, no, that's not what I wanted to click. Thank you. Please go away. My work email does that all the time. Give it a minute to load. So I should probably tell you what I am reading. I'm like 5 minutes away from the end of The Princess Will Kill You by Sarah Henning. Almost done with that. And then I'm moving on to Ship of Smoke and Steel by Django Wexler. And then for my physical read, I think it's going to be January 15th by Rachel Swirsky. Might be Arusha. I don't know. I just felt like something different. So, okay, there is the timer. All right, let me pull up my videos. And we'll scroll down. Okay, I think because we are going to have less time, let's do this one. Nope, that's not the one I wanted to click. Let's do this one.
We're getting there.
I'm just making decisions. I changed my mind halfway through. Probably should unmute YouTube. So I had it muted because I like to pull people's shows up when I'm on them, so I'm another person watching. But there we go. I can figure out how to do my own timer. Okay, let's get this guy there.
Probably better at it than me, because I remember when I hosted, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
That's funny. Yeah, no, I get that. Okay. All righty. We ready? Cool. I'm going to add that in then. Let's add that in. And 3, 2, 1, mute the mics. Welcome back. Ooh. Okay, sorry. I wanted to get myself out of the other stream because I'm on the nice computer now. You can't hear me. Weird. We may have a problem. Okay. Can you hear me now? I can't hear you, actually. In the chat, can you banner, by the way? Okay, so it's fine. Try this again.
Hi, can you hear me?
Now, are you back?
Am I back?
Nope.
Okay, it sounds like I'm the problem.
There we go. I can hear you.
You can hear me now?
I can hear you. Oh,
yay!
Sorry.
Was it you or was it me? I don't know.
Apparently they could hear me. It was you they couldn't hear. This is what happens when you do random things like switch computers midstream. How did we do?
I ate my pizza and I did not read. I watched Call the Midwife and I did not realize that this is the episode that something really, really bad happens. And I was like, oh no.
I was not prepared for this. I finished my book. So
how was
yay. It was good. Like, I mean, it was fun. It wasn't anything special, I'm gonna be honest. But like I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. And then the ending, they drop a bomb that I'm like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. So now,
wasn't
of course,
something somebody was, wasn't it that subject of something somebody was talking about?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay.
But yeah, it's interesting, and I've got the second book coming from the library. So that's how you know it's good. All right. Let's see where people. I saw a couple of people. I apparently needed to pay attention to my comments because Brianna's over here the entire time. No, Margaret, we can hear you. Allison finished an episode from the podcast and read half of a chapter. Nice. Rye, hello, welcome. Rye has joined us. Michelle made it to page 80 of House of Hunger. We had some technical difficulties. Brianna's like, yay, you're both back.
Yay.
And then Crystal is 91% into The Fastest Way to Fall, liking it. Nice. Is that sounds like it's a contemporary, is that correct? And then Novel Leo, work with me here. There we go. Novel Leo finished 48 pages, flying through this book. Nice. And then Brianna says, I am making a thumbnail and I read some stuff. Audible doesn't tell you how much you've read. That is true. That is very true. It drives me nuts. I used to actually do the math for that because I am a weirdo like that. So
sometimes you have to do the math just for the fun.
Yeah. I just like being like, Bookly makes you put in how many pages you read during that sprint or during that time. And so I have to figure it out. So I had to figure out if I'm listening to an audio book, I have to figure out what is the pages. So I did sit down and do some math and figure out that I am 17 hours into this thing. So go me. I think that leaves me at 5 hours left. Yeah, 5 hours left to finish to have read all
what
20.
Do you usually listen on?
What speed?
Yeah.
1.75 usually, or 1.8 if it'll give me 1.8. Most of them do 1.75 though.
That's pretty good.
But yeah, so that's for all the total of the amount that I have read the last 3 days though, is the 17 hours. So we got a couple more people that joined us. Kishma O'Reilly is reading Intercepted by Alexa Martin. I have about 50 pages left. Nice. So you might be able to get that done in our next sprint, depending on how quickly you read. Brianna says, when I have the book, I can figure it out, but the physical book is in the other room. Yeah, I've been there, done that. I have been there, done that. It makes reading at work tough because I can't listen to the audio. I don't usually only bring my physical book with me, so I won't listen to the audiobook until after I've taken my lunch break, just in case I want to read.
Oh yeah, I like to follow along with my book too.
Yeah. So, we have been joined by Najma. Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Najma is joining us all the way from Egypt. So that's across an ocean from me.
That's a ways away.
Yeah. I mean, most of y'all are pretty far away, but that's quite a ways away. Don't usually get many Floridians on this stream. So, okay, let me pull shit back up since I changed computers. But what are we planning on doing in this? We got plans for this sprint or not?
I would say my plans are to finally take a shower now that I'm done.
Do that.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna read.
Good. I want to film a couple videos, so I'm probably going to prep to do that. So, yeah, that'll be what I am going to be doing. I just sat down and started making my list for when I am for the HarperCollins titles. You just went ahead and started playing without me asking you to. We really need to.
When you finally read those HarperCollins titles.
Yeah, no. So I surprisingly only had 4. So, yep. So I'm like, oh, cool. So I'm going to haul a couple of books. I'm going to talk about the 4 books, and then I might do my wrap up for January and February because I do want to get that done.
I didn't read any because I was too afraid that I would talk about it on accident.
Yeah. I think the books that I ended up reading, they did end up like, what am I trying to say? Like for my November books, that was before the strike had happened. So I was just like, oh well, I'll just not talk about them, which is really frustrating because Winter Counts is one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then for December, I think I kept it to 2 books. So, and then I don't think I read any I didn't read any in January.
I was
Like,
like
I'm
so close to crossing the picket line because Cynthia Leidig Smith had messaged me and was like, "Hey, do you want an arc of uh Harvest House?" And I was like, yeah, of course I do." And then I was like, "Oh no, I'm gonna have to talk about it." And then I was like, "Oh no, like I'm gonna cross the picket line on accident." And I'm like,
yeah. I mean, I think that that's a situation, especially since a lot of the authors are supportive of the strike, where it would have been like, hey, I'd love to review this title, but currently the strike is going on, so I wouldn't be able to like talk about it until the strike is finished. And make sure, like, I got an email from the people who had me read the one series, and it was a HarperCollins, and I was like, I don't have the energy to deal with this, and then I went on a YouTube break and forgot about it.
and then and Christine Day's book is coming out this August, and I was like, if it was going on this long, like I would end up crossing the picket line no matter what, because like those are, I feel like for me personally it's really conflicting because those titles are very important to like
Yeah,
who I am as a booktuber, and I would
yeah,
be like,
yeah.
listen, I want you to get your wages, but at the same time,
Yeah, I think it just is one of those things that, like, I'm glad that it's done and we don't have to worry about it anymore.
same. Yeah, I can't if that
So,
happens again to any other publishing house, I'm gonna be like, listen, I can't do it this time.
I mean, we have a lot of issues with workers' rights in the United States. So I understand, like, but there's also, like, yeah, it's hard because we don't have the same kind of systems and stuff built up for people who are striking. And we don't have the same, like, because, like, a lot of places, they'll have alternate systems so that you can still access the things that you need. For me, it was just one of those things that, like, books are, they're not a luxury, but they're not like a life staple.
Mm-hmm.
So it was easy enough for me to be like, okay, I'm just not gonna, like, if I read a HarperCollins book, I would hold it up at the beginning of the video and be like, hey, I read this, can't talk about it, and use that to talk about the strike. And so now I'm talking about all of them. But
I have a
yeah,
Heart Drum Part 2 coming out sometime this year.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
nice. Just I'm glad that they got what they needed, because a lot of it was it's funny because wages weren't the only thing they were asking. They were also asking for, like,
The Diversity Initiative.
the diversity initiative, and so it's like, I support all of these things, so I guess I won't read these books. And it was really funny because I was halfway through a book for my fantasy blog, which is not going to come up out anytime soon anyways, and I realized it was a HarperCollins title. I was like, do I have to pause this now? And then they ended the strike, like, literally, as I'm like, oh, I guess I have to pause this now. And then they're like, hey, strike is over. So that worked out very well.
Yes, it did.
All right, so shall we go again?
Yes.
All right, then 3, 2, 1, and mute your mics. Welcome back, everyone. Let's remove that banner.
Can you hear me this time?
I can hear you this time.
Yay!
So we got everything set up so I can start filming in the next sprint. So that's
Oh, goody.
nice.
I might actually read the next sprint. This time I took a shower.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah.
I did not read it all this sprint either. I put makeup on and finished writing my thoughts down so I could film the video and got my camera set up. Like there was like 10 minutes left. I was like, there's no way I'm going to get anything filmed in that time. Let's just get everything set up and then I will be here. So anyways, hello everyone. Welcome. Welcome to Dusty Book Sniffers. Thank you so much for joining us on your lovely Monday morning.
I like the username.
Yes. Let's see. Brittany says, I need to figure out what book to read next. Let me go debate the stack for videos next week. That makes sense. Neva is popping in to say hi. Thank you. It says you're doing great with these all-day sprints. Thank you very much. We are trying. It wasn't originally going to be all day, but somehow it ended up being that. So everyone's like, yeah, we can all do Sunday. Cool. Let's see. Allison Moreau finished my chapter and got almost done with another episode of the podcast. Nice. How are you liking? I think you said is this a reread? How are you liking it? Let's see. I know I got because I listened to the audiobook, so I got a little bit lost at the very, very end of Eye of the World. Because I definitely zoned out for a good half hour. A lot happened in that half hour.
What happens to me is that sometimes I read ahead of the book and then I go like listen to part of it and I'm like, wait, what happened? Oh yeah, that's right. That was like 5 pages ago.
Yeah. Occasionally I'll get focused on doing something else and I'll tune the book out and then I have to go back for like 30 seconds or a minute. Usually I don't miss an entire half hour of book, but I definitely, no one was home during that entire, and we definitely transitioned from one thing to another thing. Monty has joined us. Thank you for joining, Monty. Joined late, but about 10% more of my book. Nice. Which are we still? I do not have the memory of a goldfish, so you will have to remind me what you are reading because I don't remember yesterday. So Michelle over at Glitter and Suds read 24 pages, folded a load of laundry, and unloaded the dishwasher.
Nice.
Good for you. Brianna continued listening to Skyward. I might be able to finish in the next sprint. Ooh,
yay!
It's gonna be a nice long one. So Max did not sleep well last night and lost an hour. I know. At least it's on a Sunday. At least I got some graphic novels I've been very, very, very excited for. So yes, hello, Max. All right. In regards to Eye of the World, Allison says, I am really enjoying it. I think the podcasts are helping a ton, and that's why I want to finish them, even though I am way ahead in the book. That makes sense. Yeah. Like, I think that helps, like, as you break stuff down to go through and, like, refresh. I know a lot of the actual plays that I watch also do, like, highlights of the stream. And when that's a 4-hour stream, that's real nice. So it does help to have somebody kind of discuss it afterwards.
Yes.
You digest it. Because there's always stuff that you miss, you know? Like, there's always something that I didn't think of or I was confused by, and someone will be like, Margaret, did you read the book?
You're like, I'm getting there.
I'm like, yeah, what was it? Like, a lot of the time, if it's at the beginning, I can be like, okay, I can deal with being confused for the first 200 pages or so, but it better start making sense towards the end. You know?
Yes.
What was I reading that was like that recently? I was reading something recently and I was like, this is confusing.
See, I'm one of those people that, like, you know, when they critique and they're like, oh, I hate the fact that they info dump. I'm like, yes, please give me the whole info dump. I want to know.
I need all of that information.
I need to understand what you're talking about when you say random magical words and expect me to know what it is.
Glossaries are so nice. When you have, like, especially if you have a world, like a fantasy world where it's and name things. novel Leo finished their book. Congratulations. Have you figured out what you're reading next, or do you need help? Dusty Book Sniffers is about to start filming. Nice. And okay, Monty is about halfway through Check and Mate by Allie Hazelwood. Okay. That sounds like that'll be a quick read. So Brianna's like, I don't mind an info dump. I just don't like world building through dialogue. There is a do that, and there is a bad way. Like info dump through dialogue is the worst. Random little tidbits through dialogue, that is fun. I have fun with that, where like you get small things through someone just making like a one-off or throwaway comment. But if you have someone sitting there and like debriefing someone on stuff that would be normal for people to know via dialogue,
it just drones on.
It does, and it gets annoying. Like unless it would actually make sense, like they're getting a mission brief or something for something that they haven't personally gone through or done before. Let's see. Allison says, for the next book, I will read a chapter, then listen to an episode of the podcast. For now, though, however, I'm switching between the two, and then we'll listen to the podcast for a long while. There is so much in Eye of the World that, like, you need a little bit of help. Brianna says, people don't say in normal life, the building down the road, the one that's been there for 100 years, it's just not natural.
Yes.
People say that, but I literally was just on with my brother going, dude, our house has been here for 100 years. What are you talking about? I don't think that was on a live stream, but yeah. I gave him shit for not being able to remember how old our house was. It's actually been over 100 years. So I think it was built right after the last major hurricane came through.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You know, like to think that where you used to live, it just used to be like a plot of land.
Yeah. Well, the road that's just down the street from me, in my dad's time when he was a kid, it was a dirt road. That's weird to think about.
Aberdeen was like marshland.
Yeah. Oh.
Like they built this right over like marshy area.
That makes that fun when it really rains, I bet.
When it really rains, there's certain parts of town, like we're more like on an elevated part of town.
Yeah.
But then there's other parts of town that are like flooded. Like back in I think it was like 2001, we had a flood, and there were certain parts of town that you couldn't even drive through. Yeah, it was super duper fun.
We get that to some extent, but that is because of we are in a city and it's concrete, and so the roads will flood because the drainage is not good because it can't go where it's supposed to, which is into the ground. So like there will be places where in my little car I have to drive in one of the center lanes. I cannot drive on the side because that will be up my tailpipe.
Or like during, especially like with a lot of water during like this after it's melting and stuff, some people's basements flood every once in a while. Like
yeah, that's why we don't have basements here, because they would flood.
Same. I also don't have a basement. We have like a little crawl space.
Yeah. Our water table is like 20 feet down or something ridiculous. Like it is real close to the surface. So basements in Florida just do not work.
I hear that.
Yep. So anyways, let's Dusty Book Sniffers. Can I ask what podcast you're talking about, as I am reading Wheel of Time too and could use some help? Allison, I don't remember the name of the podcast. Do you want to drop that in the comments, please? Because I know you mentioned it last night, I think. But I don't. Do I remember it? No. Max is like, but what about a teacher dumping a class in magic school to info dumpy? I think that depends on how it's being handled. Because like I've seen it done, like there are certain points where I feel like you need to drop away, and you can drop away and go to summary, like show some of the class, and then you can go to summary about either what they're reading in the textbook or what the teacher is talking about. Those are really good for like very voicey protagonists, especially because they can like add commentary on, oh, apparently.
Yeah, especially if maybe like that class that is only for like certain years, and then they suspend certain information that,
Yeah. And
like
that
you're not.
also,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say that also falls into the like kind of if they are getting a mission briefing or something, like that's a setting where it would make sense that they don't know the age of this thing or that thing, or they don't know what happened before, like because you have to be taught those things. But like Brianna said, the building that's been down the road for 100 years, like that's just, oh man, that's been there forever, is how you would talk about it.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, they tore that down. What, that, when did that happen? I've been doing that recently a lot. 10, 11, 12.
I know. Sometimes I try to think of like, what was there before that? I think that was a something.
Yeah, once you tear the building down, good luck with me remembering what was there, but I do remember that stuff was there a lot of the time. So, yeah. Like there's something on 9th Street where I live that they tore. I was like, whoa, they tore that down. I don't remember what it was, but they tore it down. Because I was coming from a different part of town than I usually come from down 9th. So, okay. So that is the end of the comments. So let's go ahead. Let's pull this back up and get it reset. I love that my videos are here in the recommendations as well. Like that's, like I haven't watched those enough. Okay, hold on. Let's get it to where I can get it. There we go. All right. Okay, so I think this is going to be the last sprint, my friends. So 3, 2, 1, mute your mics. Welcome back. How did we do on that sprint, everyone?
I have almost 50 pages read.
Hooray! I read nothing, but I did get through one of my videos, and if you couldn't tell by the change in shirt, I am working on the second video that we need to film tonight. So I'm feeling very, very proud of myself for actually doing that, because there was a minute where I wasn't going to be doing that. So, anyways, how did everyone in the chat do? Allison, let's see, mentioned the podcast we were talking about earlier. It's a husband and wife duo, and it's her first time reading. Well, he has them, he's read them a bunch, and so it's really fun, and they advertise spoiler-free due to not wanting. So basically, as long as you're reading like the episode that's about the chapter you're on, there are no spoilers. What is the name of the podcast, though, is my question. Love that. I love that book design. Look at that. That book is beat up, Thor.
Well, see, I've bought them all from like Goodwill or like Salvation.
Yeah.
And then the first one I think I found in a little free library. So
yeah, like whoever owned that book loved it.
Really, yeah, because there's like tufts and
yeah, they read it a good couple of times. I love seeing that's one of the fun things about like thrift store reads is seeing what people put in them when they read them. How are you feeling about it right now? 50 pages
Fuck
in.
President Snow. Fuck.
I mean,
President Snow.
Obviously,
I hate him.
No one will argue with you on that one.
Also, I hate Gale.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
I hated it from the very beginning. So,
The Wheel Weaves is the podcast name. Okay, I don't know if you are still with us, Dusty Book Sniffer, but The Wheel Weaves. Try to say all of that at once. The Wheel Weaves is the name of the podcast. I will definitely have to look it up because I think like having someone discuss it might help me process. And I'm going to send it to my friend who I'm buddy reading Wheel of Time with. Hello, Sarah. Welcome. I'm currently reading Eclipse by Stephanie Meyer.
Ooh.
And then Allison says, finish an episode of the podcast and finish a chapter of the book. That's the next episode of the podcast started as well. Only 5 chapters left. Nice. I feel like that's one that like during the week will be really good because you can like listen to the podcast as you're doing other things, and then you'll be able to sit down and read the book. So you may be able to, depending on how quickly you get through the chapters, you may be able to, well, you might finish it by the end of the evening. I don't know how quickly you read. So anyways, but let's see. Do we have anybody else with us that wants to give us a quick update on where they are? I still have to finish filming my recent reads, and then once I'm done that, we move on to food. Making my meal prep for the week, which is my least favorite thing to do on a Sunday.
Oh yeah.
Like I'd rather do laundry.
Mm.
You're like, yeah. That's a toss up, man.
My chores start on like Monday because I know I have to wash dishes.
Yeah, that's not fun.
I only have a few piled up though, so it shouldn't be that bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm hoping that I'll be able to get my meal prep done in time that I will be able to put all of my meal prep dishes in the dishwasher and therefore will not have to unload the dishes. Because all of my stuff will be cleaned up. The way things I will do to get out of work. Okay, so I don't think Cal has scheduled their sprints yet, but I will make sure to link them on the Twitter and in the Discord once they go up. And Cal I think is going to be doing sometime around 7 or 7:30 for sprints, and he's not here to correct me if I'm wrong. So thank you to everyone who has joined in with us. I hope y'all had a good time. Thank you guys to everyone who is currently working through. There we are. Haha. Okay. Speak of the devil. I am here. Hold on. Let me pull up your channel then. I'm going to stop streaming. Stop screen. Go to Cal's screen. Retrieving books. Apparently, retrieving bookmarks in Google is something a lot of people say. Oh, there they are. Yes. You're right. I don't know why I didn't think you had these scheduled. I'm dumb. Like, I've seen this thumbnail. I remember being like, oh, that's a cool looking thumbnail.
Mwah.
All right. There we go. And they are going live at, what time are they going live? It's going to list it here. I didn't look. They're going live at 6:30. So very quickly, very shortly after this one. So you guys will have a minute to grab a snack, use the restroom, maybe finish a video, maybe not.
So that's 5:30 my time, yeah?
Yes, that is 5:30 your time.
Okay, Central Time.
Yes, yes. Which I now I know what I'm doing again.
Same, yeah. I need to change the time on my oven.
Yeah, our oven and our microwave have not been changed yet. Who knows if they will ever get changed? I don't know. No, Google lied to me, y'all. Like, I was trying to figure out the time change, and I didn't trust myself. I should have trusted myself, because myself said time changes an hour between me and Thor. Thor. Over there. But I went to Google to ask Google, and Google said it was 2 hours. And this is why you should not trust Google. Anyways, thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you shortly. And we'll see you later, and we'll talk about more wordy, nerdy things.